But, you know, what we don't have is the chat. Scene.
You can make both of us small and put the chat all on one side.
Nah.
Right. Hey, Bucky. You man. You have a good show, Bucky. You have a good show. I didn't think creative to say that. I'm just retweeting. It's a straight up retweet.
Yes.
I see you typing Gishu. There you go. I just said that. I haven't seen you in a while, brother. Gishu, did you just get a new coding position, Gishu? Like, recent, not super new, but I feel like you got a new coding position. I saw on Twitter or something.
All right. Alrighty.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They're getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man.
Woo! Hello. That's a cat. Very confused cat. Yes. Of course not. That would make sense if they could.
Gone too well, if you could. Oh, is this because we don't have the other participants?
Yes.
How is that, Gishu? Are you able to hear us now, Gishu?
I can hear you now.
Okay, there we go. So you missed... I asked you a question earlier, Gishu. I was wondering why you did not respond to me. Let's go ahead and kick this off one more time, and we'll try to get it right. You're listening to episode 232 of PHP Ugly, and I am your host, Eric Van Johnson, guiding you through this Thursday night with love and affection. My co-pilot tonight is my good friend, Thomas Right Up.
Hello.
Did you notice how I totally mixed that up in the first time? I do this stuff off the cuff, man. I have no plan of what I'm going to say. My mouth starts moving, and stuff just starts leaking out of it, and
I know.
it just goes places.
I've seen
Yeah.
it. I've seen it live in person. For all the people who don't know,
good amount of people doing this.
This is exactly how all of the SDPHP intro works as well. Eric will just stand up in front of the large group of people who gather for the meetup and just start saying, "Hey, so yeah, things.
Let's talk about stuff." Did you say that because I'm wearing my SDPHP hat today?
Yes. I like it. That looks nice.
Did I remind you of things? Wow, we just got Discord is blowing up right now. We got some people on YouTube. Shutter, we hear you. Thank you, buddy. Got some people on YouTube.
We got a new
as well.
We got a new subscriber or follower on Twitch.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I told you. I figured out we're not big enough on Twitch now to for people to subscribe. They can only follow. So we need to. We will never. You need to stream on Twitch for like another hour or two more than what we stream. I think it was like a minimum of 5 hours a month or 6 hours a month.
Yeah, I will be doing hot
we
tub
get enough
streams
complaints
to get that.
we get enough complaints for the streaming we do. So, yeah, man. Andrew, Michael, how you doing? How you guys doing? So if you're not in our Discord, please join. It's discord.phpugly.com. We do have a nice little bot in there. If you type in !help, it'll give you some commands. The only thing that's really useful right now is you can suggest titles for the show. So if you do a ! Title and then give it a title, it will go into a list in our little Dropbox that I review before publishing. And I'm so lazy, 9 times out of 10, I will pick a title in that file. So that I'm trying to do as little work as possible. Thomas, what have you been up to?
Not a whole lot.
Well, that makes for great show content. I appreciate that.
Very busy today. But the big news, as you know, is that I have a new employer.
I know nothing, man. I know nothing. You have a new employer.
I do. I have a new employer.
Let me guess. Give me a minute. Does it start with P and end with hub?
No. That's technically a contract position and not a full-time employment. No, this one provides healthcare and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been looking around, move up for a while, and got 2 inquiries at once, and sort of did them back and forth every day for a week and a half, 2 weeks, which.
So you went through a whole interview process. Is this?
Yeah. I went through the full interview process, the code test. I believe they vetted the podcast.
Whoa. Wait a minute. You did a code test. So is this you looking for a position, or is this people coming to you offering you work? I guess I'm trying to understand the boundaries here a little bit.
This is through LinkedIn, which I generally absolutely hate, but people looking for me, and then me only looking at the ones that are interesting and promising, and not junior developer positions for someone who's done 20 years of PHP development.
Okay, so this was like a mutual thing. I mean, they were kind of looking, you were kind of looking.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on board now. So you go through a whole interview process. Well, how many? It's been so long since I've done an interview, mainly because I'm really bad at it. So I'm actually don't miss it.
Me too. It turns out I'm a little rusty.
How many? Oh, I'm horrible. I am horrible with interviews because I don't know. There's something about me. I talk too much, I talk over people, but I
don't know if
always
that's true.
assume like people know the base. Excuse me, I'm speaking. I always assume people know the basics. Like when they ask those questions, like this is a simple question. I'm just looking for the simple answer. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you just in my head thinking you know all the simple stuff. That's not why you're asking me. You're looking for something more, and I don't know. I'm terrible at it. So back and forth. Let's just take one. Let's take the position you got. You mentioned you did two. You had two kind of competing factors there. Let's just talk about the one you got. How many interviews were there? Like, how many people did you have to go through, not including the coding challenge?
Besides the recruiter, I think 3 people total. It wasn't a lot of people, but I can say it was 4 separate Zoom calls. So that first round is the establishing that this isn't a waste of time round, right?
Right.
And then you've got a technical interview, and then I did the coding test for this one was a live coding session, I believe, and then an executive interview with the higher ups and another overview. Yeah. Now, the thing is that we had a bad Git push to production during my first interview with the executive guy.
In your current job, the job you have now.
And it involved moving a domain name, which is usually handled by somebody at my company who was on vacation. So all of a sudden, my Slack channel is blowing up. There's a crisis. The whole site is down, and I'm in the middle of a Skype or Zoom interview.
Zoom
went really badly. I just wasn't giving confident answers. Wasn't speaking about myself eloquently. It was just bad. Everything up to that point had been so good, and I just felt so awful about it. I talked to the recruiter and said, "Hey, this is what happened. They're aware that there was something else going on that was distracting me, but I didn't give them I didn't give the best impression I could." So they were kind enough to actually allow me to redo that interview. And just get in and make sure that I said the things that I meant to say in a way I meant to say them, and not through the cloud of smoke that was surrounding me at the time as servers burned to the ground. So,
let me ask you a question then. I've been doing interviews for the past few years as we've brought more people on board at Diego Dev, but I'm on the other side, right? And I'm always my questions are always like, what inspires you sort of question, like, why do you code, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to hear the artist, the developer, the artist come out and what is their driving force behind why they do what they do. Because I'm looking for a specific sort of person. But in general, like, what sort of questions were they asking you? Was there anything that caught you off guard? Like, man, I never even thought of that.
I think the thing that caught me the most, well, first off, is that all the technical stuff, every time they asked me a technical question, yeah, no problem. They'd say, "Hey, here's the problem. What design pattern resolves this problem?" I'd know immediately. Yeah, it's this one. It's this one. They give me some tricky little questions, try to catch me up on technical knowledge. That all went fine, but it was when they started asking me about like things I enjoy doing, or problems that I've had in the past and how I resolved them, or how I feel about something. It's like the more personal the question was, the more trouble I had answering it. which I guess is a good thing to know about myself, is I can rattle off pointless trivia really well, but if you ask me how I feel, it does not work. My brain shuts down. They asked me about company culture. Which I sort of don't. It's hard to describe what your current company culture is and what you like and don't like about it if you've never really thought about it. If it's just good, you know. So I had to think on that for a while. The other one is what do I like doing outside of work, which I did not have an answer for. just straight up. Oh, you know, video games. Next question.
What about the coding challenge? What was the coding challenge? Anything fancy? Or?
Is a quick API endpoint development. I created custom requests for it, which is something I learned a couple weeks ago that I really, really love. Yeah, it was pretty simple.
Well, let's get down to the nitty gritty then. PHP, I assume, obviously.
Laravel.
If you're interested in this, that was the question I was shooting for. So you're sticking with the Laravel.
Sticking with Laravel.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
All
I don't know how much I can get into about the infrastructure. I mean, I know how much I can get into because I don't know a whole lot right now. But yeah, I still have to discuss what I can get into and what I have to stay away from on the podcast with the bosses.
Obviously. Do you know if they're at least current with Laravel?
Yes.
I mean, what's their situation? Ah, nice. Okay, so they have a Laravel workflow. That's good.
And
good to walk into that.
Laravel View workflow.
So the $100 question here, and I've got to ask it because I know people who know you and who listen to the show regularly are going to wonder it. I hinted around to it earlier, but you didn't bite and spoil it. Are you still in the adult industry with this new job?
After, I would say, 15 years, I am not in the adult industry.
The new job is not in the adult industry?
Not in the adult industry.
Wow. I think the whole time I've known you, you've been in the adult industry. I don't think I've never... Yeah. You've worked for different companies, but you've always been in the adult industry.
Yeah.
In your last place, you've been at it for a while, right? It's been because you've been there longer than we've been doing Diego Dev. Okay, so right around the same time we started doing Diego Dev. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Geesh, you say now I can bring my kids to work, but now they're turning 18, so.
And work is right there where he's at, so you know. Where are they located? I didn't ask that. Where are they located? Do you know that they are physically?
Texas, I believe.
Texas. Yes. Nice.
So when it comes time for Longhorn, we can all go down there and meet my employer.
It's coming up. I'm supposed to be talking to his cats here soon. I actually sent him an email today because they're having an in-person conference. We talked about this a couple of shows back. They're actually doing an in-person conference at the end of the year. I mean, I gotta look it up now. I think it's October, November time. Longhorn PHP, October 14th through the 16th. They're going to be in Holiday Inn in Austin, so Austin Midtown. So if you've been biting at the bit to get back to an in-person conference, first thing, love Austin. Those guys took us out the last time. I mean, not the last time. I went. I think the first year they had their in-person conference, and they. I got Ian in Discord. He's saying I have a message in DM waiting, in Twitter waiting for me. DM, fantastic. But the first year they had the conference, I went out there and they took us down to Austin, the downtown area, and we had a blast. It was really nice. It took us to some bar. We all took over half the room was just a bunch of PHP devs there drinking and talking and doing stuff. So I don't know if I'm gonna be ready to get on a plane in October. It seems pretty far off. I might try to muscle up the courage to travel. But yeah, where are we're going with that? So yeah, would you go though, Tom? Like if your company paid for it? Tom, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I believe so. I think PHP Ugly might actually pay for it.
Hmm.
We have to see, run the numbers, crunch the values.
That's what you think?
So
Oh man, so that's cool, man. I'm
yeah.
happy for you. I know you've been looking for something new. How'd your current boss take that?
Well, I'm friends with my boss and all of my coworkers, and it was tough. I definitely
Oh,
teared up several times talking to people about the situation. So,
aw,
but
you big
yeah, I
softy.
know.
I know. How'd your PM take it? I know you're a big fan of the PM, and I hate PMs, but
Yeah,
you seem to like yours.
yeah, she was very sad, and I've got
Oh,
her phone number, and we'll have to stay in contact and all that stuff. But you know, everyone was very understanding that this is a step in the right direction for me and for my career. I will be senior software engineer, and it is
thanks.
a ground floor position. And the goal is for me to be the code owner. So
Cool.
it's very very cool.
Ge- Gishu in Discord is asking, is Longhorn traditionally Laravel focused? Ian, I'm sure, will respond. I mean, you have your Laravel people at all PHP conferences, but no, there's nothing. At least the first one I went to, there was nothing particularly special about it. There you go. Ian's responded. We'll have a few Laravel talks, and multiple of the organizing team do Laravel things. So you can't go to a PHP conference nowadays and not have some sort of Laravel influence. It's kind of where things are right
Yeah,
now.
it's
So
it's like if there's a vegan in the room, you'll hear it.
why do you keep going there with it?
So
God.
it's like if there's someone who does CrossFit in the room, you'll know.
Oh man. So yeah, okay. My week is I mean, been pretty uneventful. I started on a new project for a client I'm excited about. I always like doing a speaking of Laravel, always like doing a little Laravel new. It's my first one where I'm launching it. Is it my first project I'm launching on 8? No, no, no. We have a Diego Dev one we did an 8 as well. So, anyways, I launched a new project today. I'm enjoying it. But all right. What else you got going on,
Do you
Thomas?
get to use Livewire?
I always get to use Livewire. That's me, man. Oh my god, I'm working on my new Livewire component. So it's so crazy. I'm telling you, I will continue to bang the drum for Livewire. I think that Laravel should just replace their view components with Livewire because I don't understand. I it's the same thing except better. I mean, it's just view components plus. I love Livewire. But yeah, I actually started with my new component on Livewire in Argus. So if you subscribe to Argus, the online monitoring system, there's going to be some more changes coming your way depending on how much time I have to work on it. But I got I'm working on the log scroll now because I'm not happy. I was never happy with the way we set up the log scroll where it's actually on the profile page of the cron job, and then to the side is kind of the logs for that
Mm-hmm.
profile. And it works. I mean, it's just cron monitoring. So all the logs are telling you, hey, this cron checked in. Hey, this cron ended. hey, this cron didn't check in. So there's not a lot of information there, but it kind of always felt kind of clumsy the way it was sitting next to the profile. So I'm just adding Livewire tab. So you now tab back and forth. You go to the profile, then if you want to click on the log, you just tab over the log. And between Alpine and Livewire, so easy. It just is so easy to do. That's the other factor of Livewire. As much as I rave about Livewire, the little bit of JavaScript you have to do, you do it in Alpine. I mean, you don't have to, but that's Poggio created both Livewire and Alpine just so they could complement each other. And Alpine JS, it's like the syntax makes so much sense, especially if you're using Livewire or even Vue components. Everything just makes sense and works so well together. Oh my goodness, I just cannot wait. I can't wait to get things done. I wish I had more time to code. I like coding a lot, but busy.
Well, you know what?
So
you know what'll save you a lot of time.
I wanted to take a break before you did that, but let's do it. What would save me a lot of time?
Managed hosting from Cloudways. We bring today's podcast to you in cooperation with Cloudways, a managed cloud hosting platform built for your PHP projects. If you simply wish to focus on your business, Cloudways is the way to go. They take over server management and security and free up time that you can dedicate to growing your business and acquiring new clients. The platform offers a choice of IaaS partners: AWS, Google Cloud, DigitalOcean, Linode, and Vultr. In addition, you get a performance-optimized stack, managed backups, and staging environments where you can test your code before pushing it to live servers. Best of all, Composer and Git come pre-installed so you can get your projects up and running quickly. All this power, simplicity, and peace of mind falls right within their brand slogan, moving dreams forward. Be sure to visit cloudways.com/en/php-hosting.php today. Sign up using the promo code PHPUGLY and get a $25 credit. Thanks, Cloudways.
Appreciate that. So a couple things I want to touch on real fast. I guess let's get this one out of the way first, because I forgot to mention it last week. It's actually been a couple weeks now, and I definitely wanted to mention it. If you watch the live stream, I've already tweeted about this, so you know I'm still kind of coming to terms with it. But if you've watched the live stream for any good amount of time, you know my office manager was my dog, and he was very special to me, and it means a lot to me. He's very important, and he always was right here behind me. You'd see him laying on the floor behind me, especially for like the last 6 months or so. And unfortunately, he has moved on. So I don't want people wondering where Yaz is. If you didn't see my tweets, or you didn't hear about it, or you watched the show, or if you even care, I just felt like I wanted to get it out there that he was a great dog. I miss him tremendously. But yeah, poor Yaz, the office manager, has moved on to another position himself, and he is missed a great deal. With that said, so the whole situation with Yaz, and actually when he passed away, was that week of the PHP compromise with Git. So all that stuff really hit me at the same time. We had the people with internals reach out to us and said, hey, we want to get this information out. Would you mind putting together a podcast? And we had, I'm like, yeah, sure. When they first reached out to us on Monday, everything, with Yaz wasn't official. And we I was actually taking him to the vet Monday afternoon. And, but yeah, so all that stuff's happening. It was such a crazy week. But one of the other things that we talked about through that is that I tossed my hat in the ring to become release manager of PHP 8. And the voting for that started this week. And very quickly, it became extremely obvious that it's a rigged election, that there's voter fraud running amok
God, you will,
in the PHP community, and we need
you
to
will
do something
never
about
be allowed
this.
to run for manager again.
Oh, they made it very clear in their voting. They don't want me running for manager. They made it very clear in their voting that me even considering
To be clear here,
in internals.
as far as fourth choices go,
Yes?
you were a resounding success.
Fourth choices. Come on, you have. Let's get this in
Fourth?
Discord so people can click on stuff. See how. So let's be clear. For position number 1, it was an overwhelming nobody was even interested in me. Pretty much the same thing for position number 2. I think I got a sympathy vote from a very prominent internals person, Sarah. I mean, you can go see yourself. These are all public. And then now, you know what? I would have been okay with those. I would have been all right had I even made a showing for the third position. Not a single vote.
So our
for the
listeners
third
know
position.
this is a
Nobody.
very toned down version of the conversation that we had on Wednesday.
A lot less
Yeah,
cursing
a lot of
and crying.
these
and spitting, huh?
motherfuckers.
You're really upset. I know you were pretty upset, Thomas. I'm like, it's okay, buddy.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
okay.
prone to anxiety, you know.
So yeah, election fraud. I'm just saying we need the voting machines. We need to have these things audited. This is bullshit. And I'm moving on to Go. We're going to be called Go Laying Ugly.
I saw a few interesting
What?
things, like like
Don't laugh at me, Gishu.
who was Patrick Allert's first choice?
I don't know. Who was Patrick Alex's first
I
choice?
believe.
Albert? Allert?
Yeah,
Alert?
Patrick Allert voted for Patrick Allert in the first round.
Allert, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's interesting. So who did Ben Ramsey vote for? Because Ben is on here too. Let me see.
Yeah,
Ben Ramsey voted for Ben
that
Ramsey.
is the first vote that Ben Ramsey put in.
That seems Let's see who Ben Ramsey voted for the absolute last position.
What was that? Sixth
that
place?
is there. Oh, he
Oh,
voted
that's
for
nice.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he voted for me. Yeah, that's pretty much Ben telling me, hey, man, I know who you are. I just want you to know I was thinking about you, and I have no desire to work with you at all. I voted last. Like, I want to make sure nobody votes for you. That's all right, Ben.
So the big news this week is I got a new job, and Eric was roundly rejected by the PHP community at whole. Just
publicly just turned down. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I'm kind of a dick.
At least we gained listeners, you know? That's what matters.
Hey, man, we gained like our YouTube subscribers jumped like 100 or something. We're like over 300 subscribers on YouTube
That
now.
can't be true.
I'm telling you. What? Here, I'll bring it up right here. Watch this. Boom, boom. 330.
That is absurd.
Just like that, man. It was crazy. I know. That's nuts. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Funny Guy. Mr. Funny Guy Gishu. I was first in the 6th position. That's right. First in the
I don't know that you were first in the 6th position. I think that's just where you did best.
That's you're actually right. I don't think I was. I think somebody kept. Yeah. So we did get more. God damn it!
Yeah.
I can't even win the 6th position. Son of a bitch! All right. Well, I see where I'm.
I think it's just because of the naming schema, because they just put you down as Eric V. Johnson.
Okay, so you want to hear something funny? If you really want to analyze this, remember what Sarah told us in the podcast. She's like, this is the most volunteers we've ever had step up for Release Manager, which was a compliment. And she complimented us because I think you guys got the word out. So when the volunteers on the voting form, if you're looking at the website, the people that are getting voted on are left to right at the top. That's the order people volunteered. So I was the 4th volunteer, right? So that means if you look at where all the heavy voting is for the people who volunteered, it's people who volunteered after me. That means people saw me volunteer and were like, holy crap, somebody who knows what they're doing better volunteer like right now, because we're about to get hosed on this. Because had the whole right side of that volunteer list wasn't there, I would probably still have lost, but it would have been a closer race. I feel like it would have been closer. I think we inspired people to volunteer, and some very well qualified people stepped up.
I mean, you really do only have yourself to blame. Any way you cut it. This is.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was that made the week all that more exciting.
There was some exciting stuff this week in internals.
Lay it on me.
The noreturn type has been approved.
Nobody cares about internals anymore.
Yes,
We're not talking about those guys. What was approved though? It wasn't no return. It was something else, right? It was
the idea of having a no return value was approved, but the naming of it was changed to never.
Never. That's an interesting name.
I don't.
What do you think of that?
It doesn't. I don't think it well describes what's being done.
I think there was some. I think there was some valid arguments for not doing
the no return.
It
was an overwhelming success.
Yeah, they were like it was confusing. There was some.
Buttery Crumpet says that it never uses is used in TypeScript. Ed Geesh is asking, isn't no return the same as void? And it's not, because you can return void when you're saying never. You're actually saying this method doesn't exit.
There is no return. Nothing's coming back to you.
Yeah, so it's a very specific syntactical sugar for long-running processes and things like that, where you have an exit statement in the method.
And it's funny because when this conversation first started, it took me a while to think. It's like, man, how often do I actually use where I'm not returning something? Like, I rarely use void. So I'm like, man, how often do I not actually return something? But now that I'm using Livewire, I mean, I can actually not return a lot of stuff in the Livewire component if I want to. I think it's needed. I feel like it's needed. It can be useful.
I like it.
Yeah. Yep. That's I'm gonna let that one slide with internals, but so I came across something new this week. And I have a sense that another streamer that I watch subscribes to the same news feed that I subscribe to. So I subscribe to a news feed called opensource.com. And if you like open source stuff, if you like geeking out on like new things and stuff like that, I recommend hitting up their feed. The problem with their feed is it's heavy. Like I have it in my Telegram, and I get 6 to 10 new stories or new articles every day, and they're good quality stories. I just don't have time to read them all. But one came across my feed today that said 4 tips for content switching in Git. I'm like, okay, let me go check this out because I I'm always looking for like new little hints and tips and how to do things and stuff like that. And this one talked about something I had never heard before, Git Worktrees. Have you ever heard of
I
Git
have
Worktrees?
not.
I never heard of it, and I'm reading the article. I'm like, man, this looks like it solves so many problems. Why haven't more people talked about this? And no sooner am I reading this article, like the next day or the day after, a YouTuber or a streamer I watch, the Primogen, who's like, he's really big in Vim, and he works at Netflix. He's this absolute crazy man. He posts a video about Git Worktrees. I'm like, oh, come on. He has to be reading the same blog I'm reading, because there's no way he just stumbled across this as I did. I recommend going and watching his video because, I haven't actually used it myself. He is using it. I don't think it's something I can use, but basically what it does, and this is not a problem everybody has, but if you're a manager, or if you're somebody who works on multiple projects, or even if you're somebody who works on one project that has to keep switching branches because, hey, you need to fix this on this branch, or we did a deployment, you got to fix this. You want to look into this. Now, there are drawbacks, but basically what Worktrees does is you check out your repo differently. So you don't just do a git clone. You do a git clone. I forget. It's like a --bear or something like that. And in that repo now, what it boils down to is it allows you to have multiple branches checked out at the same time. So everything becomes a file structure to you as the user, but you can have like your main branch, you can have a feature branch you're working on, you can have a bug branch, you can have them all checked out at the same time, and you can be switching back. Not only can you be switching back and forth between them, you can actually be working on multiple branches at the same time. Like you can have two Vim terminal sessions open and working on one branch and then working on the other branch. And it does, once you're in that branch, and from your perspective, each branch just becomes a file structure under the cloned repo. So you see like main, feature XYZ, bug 3,
Like as a directory?
whatever other branches you have. It's just a directory, yeah. So they're there. It's physically there. And once you're in that directory, it just is another Git repo. Like it's only tracking changes for that directory, like for that instance of that code base. It's not mingling anything else you're doing on any of the other branches. It's very slick. Now, the big drawback for me, because I saw this, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going with like this starts today. I'm not ever doing other branches, because in my position, I'm constantly starting branches, pulling in developer code to do code review, working on other branches, and I'm constantly having to commit or stash, because that's what you have to do today. Like if I'm working on a branch and a developer says, hey, can you do a code review for me on this? And pull it. What I do is I'll pull it in and run unit tests and do everything. I'll have to either stash what I'm working on if it's not good, like if I don't think it's ready for anything, or I have to commit it, which then I have all these, like I have a lot of commit because I'm halfway done working on something. I'm like, okay, this is a whip, commit it, go out. This resolves all that. I can have as many branches as I want. I don't have to start switching branches and all that. But I pretty quickly discovered that, oh shit, for that might be good for like you're working on PHP core, or you're working on PHP internals, or you're working on some script or something. But for me and my workflow, my Git clone version that I have on my computer ties into my development environment. So like Valet, I use Docker, DevilBox. I just pointed to a directory and say, hey, every subdirectory in this directory is a website, and they're Laravel sites, so the web root is under the subdirectory public. So with this implementation, I lose that ability. I mean, I could technically say, hey, uh, it's under the subdirectory. Main public is the web, but I have to do that for every branch I'm
Right.
going to create. So it's just not reasonable. I can't do it. I'm
Yeah,
trying
you
to
can
think
have
of
an
a
auto
way around it.
subdomain.
Like I well, but no. I have auto
No, but
subdomain. That's the problem. The
the
auto
folder name
subdomain.
as a subdomain for the project. So it's like project.com. And then when you're in a folder branch 1, you'd branch1.project.com.
I like that, Tom. That's actually good. I don't know how I would automate that, but that still ties into what I was thinking about doing, which is I was thinking what I would do is point my devil box, auto domain mapping to another directory and say, okay, this is my projects directory now where I keep all my sites, and then just manually, like when I decide, okay, I want this branch, I want to be able to get to this branch, I would just do a symlink and let the symlink take over. Excuse me. Your subdomaining based on branch name actually might make that work. That's a fantastic idea. I need to test that theory out because I will use the hell out of this until I find what the other problems with it are. But I want this. I want this bad.
It's cool.
And yeah,
That's for sure.
Yeah. I do love. I don't know how more people haven't talked about this. It's like this is such a common problem in our industry. Like why? I mean, what's the other Git flow that people
Git flow.
use? I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, just
Is that what's called Git flow? Everybody like uses. I've heard so many people use that, and I'm like, it's not doing anything. It's just doing Git. It's just shortcuts
you love
for
Mercurial.
Git. And there is something, and then you have something as cool as Worktree out there, and like nobody's talking about it.
Here's the thing about Mercurial
baffling.
that I always loved that solves this problem is that
Let me hear it.
all of your changes are automatically in the context of the branch you're in. If you want to change branches without committing your changes, that's fine. Your changes are still being tracked in your local repository for that branch. So it's the same as stashing, but it automatically applies it to the correct branch that you're in. So when you switch between branches, you don't have to commit. You only commit when you want to commit. That was...
So can you not carry, like if you're making a change in a file and you realize, oh crap, I'm on the wrong branch.
There's a command
which
for
I
that.
do all the time.
I don't know what it is anymore. It's been 15 years, but
okay, so it lets you carry it over to the new. Yeah, that would make things easier.
Mercurial had some awesome functionality, and I think Git won because it was Linus's project.
Gishu asked, wouldn't the subdomain break some of the dev config for Laravel? Actually, that's a good question. Now you mention that, because you don't commit your .env file. Also, with migrations and stuff, if you get into a branch that mucks with your database, that would be a problem. Don't you have any
Laravel can take a wild card on subdomains, so it's not that big an issue.
No. But the problem, his problem still remains. If you're going to use it for development like we do, you would have to remember to copy over your or you could do like Envoyer and do a symlink to your .env file.
Well,
That's
no, you could do a symlink to your active development branch.
Right. you would put your. So my thinking is, I would put my .env file. I would put all my files that don't get into the Git repo. I would put in the main.
So what I would do is I would have
and
a
then
node.
any
I would
other...
have an npm command that switched the symlink to the current directory I'm in. Do you see what I mean? So you're running. So you've got 4 directories, each with the complete version of the project, and then you have a symlink that Nginx is referencing. When you change that symlink, it points to a different directory. So if you have an npm script, you say npm switch, then it changes that symlink to the directory that you're in. It's just
I'm not worried about
it's quick context switching for the web server.
But you don't have to switch to web server if you're creating subdomains for all the.
But if you weren't doing subdomains, if you were just doing a current development, project.local, then
yeah, I was thinking more of like the .env file. I would just symlink, because like if you update it, you would have to remember to copy it over again. But if you just symlink it, and that's what Envoyer does when it deploys to servers, it actually moves your .env file up a layer, because it does this whole release folder and then a current release and such and such. But it actually puts your storage. It puts your storage .env up a folder and then symlinks back to that.
I wonder
if that would actually work. I know that's not what. I
wonder if you could hack a load balancer program.
Again, you don't need a load balancer. I'm not worried about that. Like I think you've resolved the web issue with the subdomains. So I think the subdomains isn't an issue. The only issue I see now, after going through the manual process of symlinking the .env file, would be migrations jacking with the database, because they would all still be pointing to the same database. But I kind of have that.
Yeah, that's
I kind of
already
have that
the current
problem now, anyways, because.
But you could have a database that was named after the branch as well. You can have a dynamically named database.
No, well, then you're back to having to copy over the .env.
No, you can
files.
have a .env file that has a variable value that you can change, that you can set programmatically. You could call a global. What's it called? You could set a global variable in the console and reference a global variable. I smell a blog post.
I need to work through this a little bit.
I think that's is that.
I think this is doable,
blog
man.
Post? Did you do something else?
No, I got a lot of candles burning. I had in and out today. Did you know? So people who are familiar with California rave about In-N-Out burgers. I was never a huge fan of In-N-Out burgers. Then everybody was like, well, there's a special off-menu, secret menu thing you can do called Animal Style. You can have your burger ordered Animal Style. So I would order it Animal Style. I'm like, okay, it's just pickles and sauce. I'm still not really impressed. It's all right
Animal
for
Style
a fast
is
food
grilled
burger,
onions.
but I don't. Yeah, there's grilled onions, there's extra pickles, there's extra sauce, all this other stuff. I was never a fan of it. I mean, I thought as far as fast food burgers go, it was one of the few fast food burgers I enjoyed. I was never a big fast food burger guy. So it is fast food, and it's decent for fast food, but I didn't rave about it like everybody else. Then somebody told me the secret. They have chili peppers. So you can get the burger Animal Style, and then you can get chopped chili peppers in it. That was a game changer for me. Now I'm addicted to the damn burger. I mean, I get them all the time. So if you're not familiar with the chili peppers, you have to do the chili peppers. I'm telling you, it will change your life. And they're good. I have spent
a couple years defending In-N-Out. Because I moved out here to Colorado Springs. There's no In-N-Outs. And there's a lot of people from Texas who like Whataburger.
Whataburger, yeah. There's Geisha says sounds
Well,
like a Whataburger.
Here's the thing: is that the Whataburger people and the In-N-Out people do not get along, and living in a city where there is neither created a lot of friction. Now, we were distracted for a couple years by the current president, but it was still there. The friction was still there, except that we got an In-N-Out. Yeah, we got an In-N-Out.
You have an In-N-Out?
We have Colorado's only In-N-Out.
This is chaos. This is absolute madness. In-N-Out is supposed to be in California. Now, I was giving it a pass for Vegas because it was Vegas. Okay, there was an In-N-Out in Vegas. Then I go to Arizona, and there are In-N-Outs in Arizona. Now you're telling me there's In-N-Outs in Colorado? This is just insane. Well, it's already worse. Ian says there's In-N-Out in Texas as well. So I'm done.
Well,
they're dead to me.
They're building a Whataburger. They're building a Whataburger
in my
here.
soul.
And tensions
Well, there you
tensions
go.
have never been higher. My friends from Texas who have been chest pounding about Whataburger for the last 4 years are going nuts. Telling you, oh, you don't know what's coming. You don't know. You think In-N-Out is the shit. You don't know what's coming. You are in so much trouble.
So Ian and Andy and all you in Discord, or actually Andy's in YouTube, all you guys raving about Whataburger. Is Whataburger a smash burger or what's special? It's a smash burger. Oh, are you familiar?
I know
with
of
Whataburger?
it because of my time here in Colorado Springs. I've heard quite a lot about it.
Do you know if we have one in San Diego?
And this is the Texas-California problem, is that it's all about, oh, you Californians think you're so great with your shitty In-N-Out. I hear it all the time. No, there's going to be a civil war here in Colorado Springs. It's going to be little white paper hats versus red button-up shirts.
Holy crap! Looking at the states it's in, there's Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, and then it just jumps right over the overseas to Florida. It's like they're still. Damn it!
So it's now.
Oh, man.
Let's talk about Five Guys just for 1 second here. It's a smash burger place where the burgers cost $18, and I'm.
Oh, smash burger though.
No,
you
Five
can't
Guys.
put it in the same category though.
Five Guys is stupid
that's what I'm
expensive.
saying.
It cost me $110 to take my family to
can't-
Five Guys.
But it's a dinner. Like that's not fast food.
No.
That's a dinner. Like the jalapenos and the, you're crazy. I like.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I like Five Guys. I just
consider
can't
Five
afford it.
Guys-
I'm gonna have to sell off a yacht or something.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't eat there all the time. That's for sure. So, let's see. What else we got going on here? Everybody, we've started the burger wars in Discord, and I'm just trying to catch up. Five Guys is the best for sure. I hold them. I don't even put them in the same category as In-N-Out and
Sure,
whatever.
but I'd rather pay
Whataburger
my kids'
is.
college tuition than whoever's working at Five Guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not paying my kids' college tuition.
I got a question for you at
Yes,
your
sir.
new job. Have you considered how you're going to monitor your application at your new job?
I actually haven't thought about that yet.
Would you think about maybe going with
That's a good call.
honeybadger.io? Our second sponsor of the show tonight is honeybadger.io. And I really wish they had given us something to say, because they didn't. They were just like, hey, we dig what you're doing, and talk about it. And as we it was funny because we were already fans of Honey Badger on the show before they became Patreon sponsor
and then we became
level
huge
supporters.
fans.
So, and now it's like, wait a minute, why had we even wandered off to other services? Why haven't we just stuck with Honey Badger? I need to. Argus is the next thing that's going to be getting Honey Badger. I actually started working on that on the branch that I'm on with my test. So again, you're talking about Worktree. I was in I was doing my new feature in Argus. And I'm like, man, I really want Honey Badger on here. And so I went ahead and installed it on my local environment. But I'm like, shit, I could have just pushed that through to production and not have it wait for me to finish this feature. And if I had a stinking work tree, I could have just easily have done it. I could still do it. I'm lazy and I'm pissed. And anyways, honeybadger.io, monitoring service, all sorts of cool things. They even have like uptime notifications and stuff like that. I'm really digging it. I'm getting into it more and more. Great guys. No promo code. There's nothing special they're selling you. But if you need monitoring,
that sounds well and good, but I can't do much if they don't have a free tier.
Well, Thomas, you're in luck. There is a free tier. There's a free tier. You don't even have to pay them if you don't want to. You just use and abuse them like just.
So what you're saying? What you're saying is it would be irresponsible not to use Honey Badger.
I would border on criminal if you don't have monitoring in place for your application and you got Honey Badger out there, completely free tier. No commitments or anything. They're not asking for your mother's maiden name or anything like that. They're just like, hey, use us. No credit card, nothing like that. You don't have to put in credit card. Just use their service. It's on you if something goes wrong. It's your fault, and really you should be prosecuted. That's how I feel about it. Honey Badger IO. I think they got their.
Yeah, I don't even know why they would have to advertise through us. Given the service that they provide, it should be self-advertising. And I watched a lot of infomercials when I was a kid. A lot. I've got the infomercial tone down.
You're just complimenting yourself on that pitch. Oh, good job. Good job.
I have a sort of a weird doom and gloom. Like, I don't know.
Okay. I got one more thing I want to do before we end the show, but let me hear your doom and gloom.
Well, the FBI did something really strange. They got warrants to patch people's servers without their consent.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Is this in... I didn't see this in Trello.
Yeah.
Is this in Trello? Okay,
well,
please
you remember
explain.
the Exchange server hacks that happened? Where all the Exchange servers got hacked?
I do.
The FBI requested a court order to remove hundreds of infected web shells from servers without contacting the owners of the servers.
What?
Yeah.
Holy. Well, how do they even get access to the server? Like, I mean, even if they have physical access, they would have to hack the server.
See, I believe in this specific instance, the web shells that were installed were not secured. So they're using the web shell that they're taking issue with to hack the machines that are infected with this shell and then uninstalling the shell. So they're using the hack to remove the hack. And
you're saying that the government just went in and did this out of the kindness of their own heart?
It's a massive national security issue. These vulnerable servers are out there. People are not responding to requests to fix them or issue patches or whatever. The FBI has a system in place to just jump in and do it.
I bet you none of them have Honey Badger
obviously
installed.
not.
None of them. Clearly, they wouldn't have. Well, that's interesting. So, was this some like secret mission, or did they at least try to get in touch with the server owners?
It's not entirely clear here. I haven't read the complete court order. It's a very dense legal
Gotcha.
document, as you can imagine. The one of the reports I'm seeing is that the FBI is removing the backdoor shell, but not the vulnerability that led to it being installed in the first place. So it's a very, I mean, it's strange. Comments on this are saying, I would much prefer vulnerable machines were fixed by white hat hackers instead of the FBI. I don't want the FBI in my machine or getting a warrant to my machine. Things like that. Clearly, people who don't own servers that are just for work purposes. Like, if you're an operations guy and the FBI says, "Hey, we fixed your server for you," you say thanks. You don't say, "Hey, man, that's not cool." It's a strange legal area. This was announced on the 14th, yesterday, so there's not a lot of news coverage about it. There's not a lot of opinion on it yet, legal opinion on it yet, but it's a weird one. So like I said, I don't know if it's doom and gloom. It's because they're fixing stuff, kind of, but they're getting warrants to people's personal machines, kind of. I'd love to see what Discord thinks of this. I can't remember what the URL for our Discord server is.
Thomas, that would be discord.php.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That's simple. I should be able to remember that after 232 episodes.
So I want to circle back about me, because I started this whole podcast to be about me, and yeah. So needless to say, my ego has taken a pretty big blow the last couple of weeks, and I thought it was all like I really wasn't any good at what I did and anything, and I was ready just to hang it up. And I'm sure there are many out there that wish I had, but then I got a little spark in my ego again. Now I've been contributing to PHP Architect for a while now. Jesus, I think it's been over a year. Like, I think I've been doing their podcast longer, but I've actually been contributing to the community corner for, I think, a little over a year. Which, again, if you just joining us, I'm going to be talking to the guys at Longhorn. We're going to be talking about their conference, talking about what's different, the safety precautions they're doing, and encouraging people to get out and get to this conference. That will be a community
I've got my card.
And May. I got mine too. You shouldn't display it.
Why?
I keep being told you shouldn't display it. I'm getting my second shot on Monday.
It's all the same information is directly below a picture of me.
Dude, I'm talking about me.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about me. Stop. Stop trying to be an attention hog. I got a little spark to my ego, so I've been contributing. So I've been in PHP Architect. I know what it is, but there's a section in PHP Architect called the PHP Puzzles by Sherry Wheeler, and they're just like programming exercises she does every month. And every month I'm like, man, I should try to do this. I should try to do this one. And I'm so lazy. I never do. But last month, the exercise was something that I enjoyed. I mean, I enjoy it all. But she referenced a Big Bang Theory thing, which was rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, right? Which is, if you watch Big Bang, you know what that is. So she created an exercise for coding that. So first you coded rock, paper, scissors, and then there's some variations, but ultimately the last, I think, variation was you had to do rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, and try to code that out. So if somebody did one and did another, who won? And she used my code, and she even gave me
Aw.
credit in her article. So I'm like, hey, somebody actually liked something I did. So yeah, sure, nobody in internals loves me, and all this horrible stuff is going on, but Sherry likes me. She likes my code. She likes my rock paper lizard Spock. So that's, if you're a PHP Arc subscriber, check it out. My name is in there. So, all right. That didn't go as well as I'd hoped. I'm sorry.
No,
You
you
looked
just
lost.
talked about
What's
Big Bang
wrong?
Theory. I just dislike that show. Yeah, I know.
I love Big Bang Theory. Yeah.
Greatly
You what?
dislike that show. Well,
We're gonna have to stop talking.
You know what they call it? You know what kind of show it is?
Call this.
No, what?
Yeah, Big Bang Theory.
No, the kind
The
of
Big
show.
Bang Theory.
No, it's a sit.
Awesomely funny.
It's like a sitcom,
What?
but it's just a sit. There's no comedy.
I don't get it. You're a terrible person. You just said you don't watch it.
I've
so
seen
how,
it,
how would
and
you
it was
know?
painful.
Oh, leave me alone. Please, everybody, please direct your hate mail towards Thomas.
Feel free, or if you want to get to me on
PHP.com.
Twitter, it's at Showcom.
Piss off. I like Big Bang. So, all right. I feel like, have we actually done
Yeah.
a hour? This show was never
No, I
supposed to
know,
be an
I know.
hour long, right? You know that. It's like, it was only supposed to be like 30 minutes of us just catching up on the week. And
I
God.
have one more thing. If you're interested in the green threads, the fibers stuff in PHP 8, I've got great news for you. Everyone who's ever used any sort of asynchronous programming in the past has decided to write a blog post about PHP's implementation. So there's about 300 articles out there about fibers in PHP and how they're not really asynchronous because they're still in the same thread, and how the implementation in PHP doesn't include a scheduler, so there's no way to actually manage the fibers.
Okay, but they
Yes.
said that stuff is this was just the first
Right,
phase
right.
of the implementation. Don't give them a break. Screw
That's the
internals. They
thing,
don't know
is
what the
that
hell they're doing. I blame
These articles
the
are
release manager.
100% not worth reading. None of them is worth reading.
It's gonna take me some time.
Fibers is just a root level thing for somebody to start experimenting with I/O and scheduling and all that stuff. These articles, I swear to God, I had 18 of them open in one browser session at a point. It's terrible. And they don't provide any new information to you. They don't tell you how you're going to actually implement this. It's just a waste of time. Don't screw with it. Ignore fibers for now. There will be a time when it becomes more relevant, but tonight is not that night.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, if it's not something you've been looking for, then it's probably not something you need right now. Just let the people who've been looking for that solution or who needed that solution implement what they're going to implement and then leverage it. But yeah, it's a complicated thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fundamentally it doesn't do anything yet.
I wanted to. I don't know if he's still listening. He was on YouTube earlier, but I had a meeting with our artist friend today, Andy Wilson, who he was out there. He was on YouTube for a while, talking about some logo ideas and some artwork. So we're still working on some of the new swag stuff for the Patreons and people who look. He's there. If you have any ideas, if there are any T-shirt concepts that you'd like to see for PHP Ugly, we've already got an idea of what our new logo is going to be, or not logo, just kind of a thing. And I talked to Andy about that. I got all your ideas out there, Tom. So he's familiar with that. But if there's anything you like to see on the shirt or any ideas you have, hit up Andy in our Discord for now. I mean, right now he will get it on YouTube, or just hit me up and I'll make sure I get the information to him. But we are working on that. He's working on some artwork for us. We're going to work on some T-shirts and some other stuff. Just stuff for the Patreon levels, stuff that you can just purchase if you're interested. I don't know, man. We'll see where this goes. We're just trying to do something fun, do something different, do something that's not as stale as other things are. So
I can't.
All right, I can join. Andy, if you want to join Patreon, you can join Patreon too, Andy, if you want. If you want to join Discord, you need to go to discord.phpugly.com and
What if he wants to
just
become a Patreon?
sign in. He would go to patreon.com/phpugly. And these are our
Huge
Patreons.
thank you
We'd
to
like
all
to
of our
say
Patreons,
thank you
our
to
patrons on Patreon. I keep getting corrected about that.
patrons.
We have a new
Patrons,
patron.
yes. We do. And their name,
Slowly scrolling up,
is
making it.
like,
Ronnie MN.
Ronnie's the new patron. Ronnie MN. Well,
Yes.
thank you, Ronnie,
Thank
for
you very
joining
much.
Patreon being. We need to. We've actually gotten enough new members. We need to do another swags mailing. I'm actually behind on that. I felt bad because I actually wanted to get it done a couple of weeks ago, and then we picked up another, I think we picked up 2 or 3 or 4 the last couple of weeks. So we need this is actually one of the reasons why we're working with Andy for some new logo ideas, because we want to take advantage of a new feature in Patreon where they'll handle our reward levels for us, so we can actually add the stuff to the rewards level, and Patreon will just send it out automatically for us. We don't have to handle all this stuff. So that's hopefully coming soon. I've given up on Patreon. I'm getting locked out. See, that's the key, Gishu. We hope that you join Patreon, you start to become a member of our Patreon, and then you forget your password and you can't log back in to cancel your membership. That is our business model we're going with, and I think that's how we keep most of our Patreons.
They don't remember.
So
I can't believe I forgot this, Eric.
And if
let
me hear it.
I didn't see this on your news. I didn't see this on Reddit. I didn't see this a lot of places. I thought I would see this. But the headline here is Microsoft buys JavaScript developer platform NPM. Plans to integrate it with GitHub. Kid you not, ZDNet article.
Where are you at? Are you in?
This is not in Trello. I was just looking through old stuff and realized Discord. I saw this. Because my first comment on this was that Node developers get really mad when you call them JavaScript developers.
Well, look at that. Microsoft buys JavaScript developer platform NPM. Holy smokes. Is this breaking news?
This was
this is breaking. Oh, no, this is last
this
month.
was March.
This is last year.
I didn't know this, though.
Dude. I don't know if I don't think I remember this either. Anybody else know? That happened a while back. Ian knows. That was a year ago. I think it closed this week.
See, this is why people
They're
listen to us. We
Composer?
stay on top of the news, not just this year, but last year
too.
On top of last year's news.
So that's it. No news is too old for us to cover. That's the takeaway here. But think about this. They're becoming that Suez Canal of the development world, right? All you need is a big container ship to block that.
Careful what you say.
The world crumbles. They have GitHub.
Careful what you say. There was that guy who was trying to bomb 60% of the internet out of existence. Mm-hmm.
Just hear me out. They have GitHub. Right, they have NPM. Right, they're trying to get. There's rumors that they're talking about purchasing Discord. What just moved their entire core code base to GitHub because they got a compromised incident on their Git servers? That's right, PHP. The entire PHP core code base is on GitHub. NPM's owned by Microsoft, dude. They're becoming that that little fun. They're the Suez Canal.
That's
They're
scary.
that's them. That's who they're becoming in the digital world. I'm telling
You
you.
know, You want to know? You
Think
want to know
about
how
it.
badly I bombed that first interview during that server outage? Is that he asked me, "What do I do to stay up to date in the PHP community?" And without thinking, I said, "Funny story. I'm actually the way people stay up to date in the PHP community." And it did not.
As he reads
did
a
not
year-old article.
strike me how arrogant and foolish that was. You understand? I have 300 YouTube subscribers.
That did not
Yeah.
age well.
Excuse me. Who's interviewing Hugh here?
What do
Yeah.
you do to stay up?
Pretty
to
sure
date,
you listen to
jerks?
my podcast. Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. That was a very Discord engaged show today. Thank you for everybody participating in Discord and rating the ship as we try to tip it over, as we try to block the canal. Here we are. We're trying to wedge our little PHP ugly ship into the canal, and you guys are just like,
Oh,
we're gonna fix this.
we
for
did
you."
forget one
We
thing.
appreciate it.
John's on vacation this week.
That's why we were able to talk about hamburgers all day long. Maybe that should be the title.
Yes.
Not vegan friendly. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. That will do it for episode 232.
I'm
I'm
Tom. Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
I
You were
almost
just
said
not
I'm
ready
John.
for that, were you?
I
Oh,
Almost.
Actually, I would have kept that in. I wouldn't have edited that. You want to take us out with some music?
indeed.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real.
You know, I don't
Cool, man.
talk about the vaping that much at all.
No. But you blow there at
But
the
what
end,
the
don't you?
what the fuck is up with the federal government?
I don't follow vaping. I have
It's-
no idea. Hey, Gishu, I suggested to Tom he needs to change that scene missing to a 404.
All the 404 pictures were dumb looking. I looked.
I don't see the problem.
When I met my wife and her kids, I quit smoking, and I can easily say that it saved my life. It at least added years to my life. I'm very well versed on vaping and what's going on in the community and what's in the ingredients. I make my own liquid. I do all that stuff. The federal government got the U.S. Postal Service to ban shipping of vape products, which then followed with DHL UPS, and FedEx. And the vape community is largely an online community. And the shops are largely online shops. And hundreds of businesses shut down last month. Hundreds. All at once because it was impossible to fulfill to customers a life-saving product. It is absolutely insane that the campaign paid for by the tobacco company against vaping products is being allowed to continue, and the campaign against vaping products by the states, who are receiving money for every pack of cigarettes sold, is being allowed to continue. The European Union has universally acknowledged the health benefits of vaping over cigarette smoke. It's 99.8% less harmful.
Dude, are you doing a PSA here or something?
Because there is a
sorry. I find it hard.
There's a good chance that millions of people will start smoking again because of this, because they cannot get vaping products. And it is a health disaster in America. It is
really. I mean, you're going to say health disaster. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You're going to say because you can't vape is a health disaster.
Smoking yearly kills more people than the pandemic has. It is a health crisis. Absolutely. And it's been created by the federal government and the state governments. I just got to get that out because I'm furious.
You're pretty livid. Yeah, I can tell. I'm actually impressed. Yeah. You waited until after the show to vent about that.
I can't get ingredients. I can't get hardware. I can't get anything related to vaping whatsoever. It is a nightmare situation.
Okay. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I guess I feel for you. I can hear the just hostility and anger in your voice. Well, here's
an interesting example. Remember in the 90s when the cigarette companies lost that lawsuit and they had to start putting
I really don't want to talk about this.
They had to start putting the tobacco companies had to start putting anti-smoking ads on TV. Remember that? They had to pay for them. Philip Morris had to pay for their own anti-smoking ads. Well, the tobacco companies lobbied the federal government to get vaping classified as smoking, and they stopped advertising the stop smoking stuff and pivoted over to stop vaping. So they're actually able to, for free.
I know you've told us this.
It's so ridiculous. It's infuriating.
Hey, your wire's hanging in front of your camera, by the way. I kept meaning to tell you that all day.
My lighting.
But
yeah, I talked about the podcast a lot during my interviews because it is like where I get all my information, and like it's my hobby and my connection with the community.
It's especially cool when we give each other homework. I like that. Like, I mean, it does motivate me some to stay a little bit more in tune with what's going on. So the one that you I assume you passed on, or did they not offer you a position?
They did offer, and I passed on it. And there was a long running conversation with my friend who's a big Simpsons fan. Is that the recruiter for that company was like old Gil from The Simpsons? Like old Gil really needs this job. Been eating cat food too long. I mean, he was exceptionally desperate, and it was really awful.
Was that the case?
No, that one was a while back.
Another Laravel shop?
It was also a Laravel shop, but it was a big corporate entity with 50-something programmers and multiple units, and
the place you're at now is a little smaller.
They launched their website in June. So they are very small.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wait. June?
Yeah.
Like last year? So they're not even a year old. Oh, that is you're risky,
Nuh-uh.
brother.
I looked him up.
The place you're at now, the adult place you're at now. How big is
Development
their team?
is 5 or 6.
All PHP
No, 2
people,
PHP
or
people,
is that
3 front-end people.
Interesting.
And actually, yeah.
So this is actually smaller. Do you have front end people? Do you have that sort of thing? in
Yes,
this
on
new
a much
place?
more technically capable level. Well, it's their front end JavaScript and design. As my front end team right now is just CSS. I still handle the JavaScript, so this is much more what would be considered a classic front end developer with JavaScript, knowledge. Yeah.
Oh. You gonna get a Livewire?
I
You
suggested
going
it.
Livewire, right?
I
I know you
suggested
like
it.
Don't act like you don't.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm looking
Act
at
like you don't
Vue,
like it.
but I'm going to propose looking at Livewire. It depends on how the workload is to be distributed among the developers. That is one thing, is that Livewire is a PHP developer's JavaScript language, whereas Vue is a JavaScript developer's JavaScript language. So, but hey, I mean, it's a move that has vertical mobility, and that's what I was looking for. And I spoke honestly with the founder about the company's position and prospects, and I'm happy to be taking this job, very, very much so.
You down to go to Austin this year?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know, man. I think I can be talked into it. I was pretty adamantly against it a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know, man. I kind of want to get back out there. I don't know. The fact that it's at a hotel, the first one I went to down there, the hotel and the venue for the conference were two separate places. So the idea of being at the hotel and the venue, I don't know, man. I might have to see if the wife wants to go for a little trip or
See if we
so.
could get both the Becks together.
Yeah. I am definitely down for some fellow geeks, hanging out with some fellow geeks and talking PHP again, seeing people in person. I haven't seen anybody in such a long time. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Ian
Sweet.
says, yeah, same venue should be a bit more convenient. Yeah, man, I might have to join. Maybe I'll. He says CFPs are open. Hey, Ian, you got a link
It's
for
on the
CFPs?
page. Yeah,
Is it on the
there's
page?
a CFP link on the top header.
I'm getting there. Somebody, especially if you're still in Discord right now listening to us, one of you bastards better, at least one of you better submit a CFP for this Longhorn. I'll be disappointed if none of you do it. Gishu, I'm
curious
thinking of
to hear how the turnout for CFPs is this year compared to previous years, to see if the people who are speaking are still tentative about travel.
It's still kind of early. How is CFPs going? It's down, he says. Ian says it's down. There you go, Gishu. Yeah, do one in Symphony. That's fine. I'm listening. Yeah, Mike, what about Michael? I keep calling him. So how's Michael Dorinda and I were exchanging some chats this morning, and I mentioned to him that my wife remembers him. We had dinner in New York for Laricons. And so Beck was with me, and she remembers him, and she looks at me. She goes, "Oh, wait. His name is Mike Dorinda." And now I keep thinking of him as Mike. I can't I don't know if he even goes by
Nope.
Mike or if he likes Mike.
It's insulting.
But I've always called him Michael, and everybody I know calls him Michael. Yeah, yeah. You can't call somebody Mike down in Australia, mate.
Yeah.
That's basically
That's
like
not. It's a
using
slur
the
for
B
a
word.
loose woman.
So yeah, Michael Drinda, he does the Laracon down there
Drinda, what
and
is-
down under. So
Okay, I figured it out. Never mind.
yeah,
I was
he's nobody
thinking of a
important.
different
Don't worry
Dorinda
about him.
that I remembered the name.
Oh, so Michael Dorinda is here. So while we were chatting this morning, is he gave me the heads up that he mentioned the PHP panel we did in on the vulnerability. And if you're listening right now, I swear to God, I wasn't trying to make that a PHP ugly thing. I mean, none of us mentioned PHP ugly. I said before the show, before I even started recording, I'm like, listen, we had other people from PHP Architect join the panel. I'm like, we're calling this a PHP panel. We're going to try to get other streamers to add it to their stream. So it was totally Sarah that kept referencing PHP
it was not us.
ugly. And I mean, I didn't try to stop her or anything, but yeah, but to hear Michael Drinda try to mumble the word PHP ugly on the Laravel News podcast, and I can feel the pain as he tried to say the word of PHP ugly. It's just like it was a struggle for him to say it. It was hysterical. I was like, yeah. Oh man, I laughed when. And hey, props to you guys, because I thought I was doing better with the editing of our podcast and getting it out within 24 hours. I think they recorded this morning, and I got in my car around lunchtime, and it was already in my podcast.
I thought they recorded yesterday.
Oh, did you record that yesterday, Michael?
I think you told me about it.
Maybe they did. Maybe that's. No, I told you about. I'm pretty sure I told you about it this morning.
Oh, you did.
Because that's when we talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did have to. Dick. That's why nobody likes Australians. Right there, Michael Dorinda. But you've got to listen to it, Tom. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating.
Right.
You got to listen to it. He's so pissed. Yeah, the guys are like, they had a little bit of a panel for the security event. Yeah, same day record and release. Yeah, that's.
Well, we will make sure to clearly enunciate Michael Drinda when we name drop how big of a fan of our podcast you are.
And how you hang out with us until midnight to. I don't care what time it is in Australia. It's midnight here.
Yeah,
and
literally the
actually
opposite.
it's, what,
just
1
on his
o'clock?
lunch break.
It's 1 a.m. here on the East Coast of the U.S. So as far as anybody's concerned, you listen to us live at 1 o'clock in the morning because you're such a fan.
I mean, a super fan, really.
Pretty much. Almost 2 here. Gishu, are you still in Florida?
Gishu's used to that trucker life.
Tom, all right, listen. I put my hat in the ring to be a PHP release manager and got rejected hard. You have to do a call for paper for Longhorn.
Oh my God.
And Ian, if you don't reject him publicly and humiliate him publicly, I will
There's
be
not a
disappointed.
chance in hell I would do a CFP right now.
Oh, come on.
I have a great one.
Come
I really do. I have a
on.
great presentation, like, ready to go.
I've seen plenty of your presentations. You've done you've
just,
done a couple of good ones. Not a lot.
My security
Good
one is
too.
the one I'm most proud of. Well, no. My Lighthouse PHP one is the best one, but my security one is the most approachable.
Do a live wire
No
one,
way.
man. Get live wired.
Not while Caleb is still out there doing
on.
all the Livewire presentations himself.
Caleb, that guy. Hey, there you go, Ian. That's somebody you should get submit a paper.
He doesn't talk
Caleb.
enough.
Get him to talk about Livewire.
Isn't he at another 2 online conferences?
Yeah.
What's the one coming up? Next,
I guess it doesn't make sense for him. I mean, I guess like Laravel is kind of his sweet spot, right? I mean, if all he needs to worry about are Laravel conferences. Really, he gets 90%
Midwest
of the
is
community
next
there.
week.
Midwest is next week, and it is free.
So is
that the free one?
Free.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that on the show.
Oh,
Midwest,
we can't. It's next week. Yeah, it's
next
not
just before our show
exactly
next
free.
week, yeah.
There are tiers to the presentations, and it depends on your membership with Nomad PHP. I believe the beginner track is the free track.
And it's all virtual, so it's not really comparing to what those guys are doing at Longhorn because it's still virtual. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with it. It's just it's virtual. They got some pretty interesting speakers, like people I haven't seen speak at conferences before. A lot of TEDx speakers and community at Nomad PHP and Ring Central. Wow, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Certified ethical hacker.
It's a
Olivia. Wow. A focus on social engineering. I want to see what they have to say.
I don't like the layout of this site because you can't tell what the tracks are and how much they cost. There's no way to find out. There's one page somewhere that has the track listing and how much it costs, or like what your membership level has to be. But
this is what I went through last week.
It's really hard to figure out what costs money and what doesn't.
Yeah. I really want to see that one speaker speak, Olivia. Yeah. Creator Linux for PHP author. What's Linux for PHP? What is that? I don't know what that is. Linux for PHP. It's a thing. Linux for PHP is a lightweight LAMP server. Linux for PHP is a lightweight version of Linux with all the software needed to easily compile and or use any version of PHP.
Nomad PHP has a starter, a growth, and a professional level of subscription. If you're on the free tier of Nomad, you get the beginner stream, I believe. And then if you get the starter level, which is $650 a month annually, you get the 2 of the other 4. And I think if you're the growth level, which is $12.50 a month, you can stream the enterprise level talks. But I cannot tell. It's there's no page on the Midwest PHP site that says what is what, including the schedule. The schedule just says what the 4 tracks are, but it doesn't say what the availability of those tracks are.
Actually, I was at Nashville PHP this week, which was being ran by guess who? That's right, Ben Ramsey. The B, yeah, the B.
Don't do that.
I call him the B now.
Don't do that at all. Stop doing
it. Listen, that was a total. He was totally going after me by giving me his last vote. I'm telling you, he was sending a message. He was saying, Eric, pretty sure, call him the Big B now. It's evolving as we speak.
I'm still trying to figure
All right.
out.
Don't worry about it. Just go Longhorn. They'll
It's
have
just
better
so
speakers
strange.
there anyways.
It's so impossible to figure out. Oh, okay, here we go.
All right.
Keynotes, beginner track, and everyday PHP track included with free Nomad account. Security, performance, and enterprise tracks require a growth or professional subscription. That is one paragraph.
I just care about the keynotes, to be honest. I just care about the keynotes. Anybody give us a good title? I need to look. You need to create a slide for the titles because it's in our Dropbox. So you could do like a little scrolling title thing.
Maybe.
I'm gonna see. Let's see if somebody gave us a good title here. Make fun of you guys for.
See, I want the
not coming up with
TDD
anything
talk.
good.
I want the asynchronous PHP talk. I want the enums talk.
Titles.
I want the CI/CD with GitHub Actions. Well, I don't really need that.
Eric came in sick. Yeah, I saw that geese. You're not funny. Oscar was in there. Oh no, that's from. Oh shit! I forgot to clean this out. Yeah, I forgot to clean out last.
Architecture. See,
last
Architecture
week's
Roundtable.
titles.
I want that, and that requires the Pro account.
I mean, it's Nomad.
Well,
How
growth,
expensive is Nomad?
So it's $12.50 a month.
Oh, we talked about this last week. That's right. The prices, yeah.
Well, $12.50 a month
Wasn't
isn't
cheap.
bad, and I think you get the hard copy of the PHP Architect. Nope, that's the $20 one.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I write for them, so I don't want to pimp it too much.
I know.
But
I
it's
want
really
it.
nice having the hard copy
want it.
of PHP Architect. I even have them back, just thumbing through them all the time. It's so nice to have. No hard copy of PHP, just digital. Yeah, I do enjoy it. And it definitely adds to the price. But
Well,
it's-
I mean, 20
I
bucks
like
a month
having it.
isn't a bad break for an industry-specific magazine.
So you get the
Yeah.
hard copy at $20 a month? That would actually be worth it because if I'm not mistaken, I think it costs like $120 a year for the hard copy. Let me double check. Let's see, subscription. So as far as cost goes, it's $160 a year to get the digital and hard copy of PHP art. So,
Ian, you're supposed to be getting the
Yeah.
hard copy. It's maybe not. It says PHP Architect subscription, but I don't know if that is.
yeah, that's got to
Yeah.
just be the digital version.
Yeah, I want that hard copy.
Yeah. It is a nice thing to have. We used to have it. We used to get it for. Remember when we were running a couple user groups, and we actually got like a copy for each user group that we
Yeah,
give
we'd
away
keep 'em.
every month.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
I still have a couple.
No, we gave them away. Yeah, that was before you helped us run it. So you'd be
Yeah,
one of the
no, I have a
recipients
couple.
of it. So. Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Discord. Hey, there was a show question out here I didn't see.
That was when you were muted.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody hangs out in general for future reference. Everybody hangs out in general. The show questions is like during the week before we actually do the show. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks again for all the Patreons. I mean, we joke and all, but we do appreciate the support. Thank you, of course, to our sponsors. We absolutely
And
enjoy
if
the
you
support there
if
as
you
well.
sign up with one of the sponsors because of us, let us know. We'd love to know that you're doing that, so we can we can plug it back to them and say, hey, look what you got. That'd be great.
Take it easy, Andy. Hey, Andy, join our Discord, man. We'll create a specific channel for you. Call it like NFT or something.
corner?
We'll call it the NFT channel. Music NFT corner. Yeah, I'm trying to get Andy to look into NFTs because he's an artist. I mean, he's like worked for all the big names and stuff. I'm like, you got to be checking this out, dude.
It's really,
this is like
really easy
no
to make
joke,
them.
man. This is for making money.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a good
All
night.
right, guys.